on the News Channel 5 network. This is Score on Business.
Hey, welcome to Score on Business. I'm Pete Hendricks, a serial entrepreneur and your host for today. Many prospective entrepreneurs aren't sure where to start, so we'll start providing a tip on each show. Also, Score offers low-cost classes and no-charge counseling specifically to guide folks through thinking about starting and succeeding in business. More information is available at scorenashville.org. Make sure to click on the Workshops tab at the top of the page. They're usually a half a day, mainly on weekends, and about $25 a session. Your tip for this show: work to view your business through your customer's eyes rather than your own. And this sounds easy, but it's not, and is really important. Okay, our first guest today is Kirk Hintz. Kirk Hintz is CEO of Nashville-based Radiology Alliance and Infinity Management. This medical group is growing quickly and succeeding in a challenging industry. And thanks for being here.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Pete.
Yeah. So, Kirk, what I really always appreciate about what you have achieved is on the people side of the business. So can you tell us a little bit about your hiring process?
We realize that we're a service organization, and we're only as good as the people that we hire and retain and release. Mm-hmm. And so those are our 3 R's of recruiting human resources. So, and we do that around our core values, significantly focused on bringing the right people on the bus, so to speak, as Jim Collins put it in his book, Good to Great. Yeah. It's really important that we get the right people in a service organization for us to be a great company.
Yeah, and what are some things you ask people?
So on the interview process, it's not uncommon for us to ask questions like, if you could create your dream job, what would that be? And really begin to explore what it is that gets them excited. Now, we may not have a match for that today, but it's great to have in the repertoire of talent development that they have a goal to move into this department, or they want to have exposure to this department. And so we really want them to think, what would get them out of bed, excited about coming to work, be engaged at 100%, really run hard, because we all run hard in business.
Right. Absolutely. And you just this is a great segue. Talk to us a little bit about employee engagement.
Right, so engagement is really everything. It is what helps us accomplish the mission of the organization. If we have employees that are not engaged, then we're not able to really accomplish much at all. So one of the things that we do is that dream casting, if you will. Mm-hmm. We also are very supportive on training. That's very effective in helping employees who may seem like they're just kind of drifting a little bit from focus, right, and not as engaged, or they're distracted. So we circle back and we really engage them in the process of training. We also continue offering really good benefits. That helps in engagement as well. Letting employees know you care about them is probably the biggest thing you can do as an employer. We do that a number of ways, from company picnics all the way to wellness programs, so that employees can help attain their own personal goals for wellness, whether it's smoking cessation or weight loss or drinking more water, for example.
Yeah. So of course, there are many different kinds of training, and training could be, how to be more effective with Microsoft's Office, and it could be other things. Are there certain types of training that are not related to how to do a specific task, but more related to maybe being more productive, or?
We actually are open to training employees in areas that they're currently not operating in. For example, we've had employees say, hey, I want to go get certified in project management, and we support that. Or, hey, I'm not currently involved in database management, but I'd really like to learn that, and I'd like a lot of training in database management, and we support that as well. So we're about investing in those individuals and helping them achieve their goals, because we know that, again, that's going to increase engagement and keep them satisfied at the job.
Right. Absolutely. So you're growing very quickly, and that's great because you want to grow, but also fast growth can be difficult. It's not that it can be difficult. It is difficult for every company that goes through it. So what would you tell other companies to keep in mind? You all have been in fast growth for a while, so of course you know more now than you did before.
Right.
What do you know now that you would tell other companies as they're beginning to grow quickly?
That's a great question. I started staying up at night worrying about scale and the people side of the business and how do we scale and still maintain our culture, because that was going to be one of our primary focuses, and my biggest concern was how do we maintain our culture and our core values as we become a very large platform for radiology and for radiology practice management. So we as a management team talk about that frequently. We talk about the expansion plans, we talk about how we're going to scale. But at the end of the day, what I would say is, and I don't have it all figured out yet, but what I would say is you've got to hire people consistent with your core values. And with that, then you're going to be able to build on that platform.
What are your core values?
Well, we value a genuine positive attitude. That core value isn't one that says, oh, you just have to be a positive person, because we have Eeyores that are just naturally negative, right?
Right.
So, but it really is a can-do attitude. It's one of those, yes, let's go ahead and go in this direction and not resist it to the nth degree. We also value integrity. That's kind of almost a permission to play type of thing. But integrity is more about than just being honest. It's about calling someone back when you say you're going to call them back. So it's an element of customer service as well.
Right.
We value respect, and respect is one of those that says, hey, we don't define it as tolerating everything and everybody. We say respect is valuing the inherent diversity of people and thought. And finally, we value a servant heart, someone who will prefer other people over themselves.
Right.
And for us, that has created an environment where people thrive because they're not worried about someone competing against them, cutting them back, cutting them down behind the scenes or stabbing them in the back, so to speak. We really do encourage that preference over other people. We like to see other people succeed and take credit for it versus ourselves. And in our management teams, that takes place frequently, where other managers are calling out what someone else has done and bringing it to the whole team's attention for recognition.
Right. I think that's awesome. And I'm guessing that you and I've never discussed this, but I'll bet that kind of politicking, backbiting, or whatever you wish to call it is not something that goes for you.
We don't tolerate that.
Yeah.
That's not team. That's not preferring other people. That's not carrying your heart well in serving other people.
Right.
So we really try to nip that in the bud quickly.
I think that research is showing more and more that one negative person can really kind of spoil the pond and really pull down. And so, is everybody, being a human's not easy. We live in a broken world.
Right.
And no one's going to be positive all the time, but kind of making it where, hey, we're here to serve the customers, we're here to serve this company. And that approach, I think, is awesome.
And we've identified two things when we have somebody who's not really behaving consistent with our core values. One is that perhaps they really don't value those core values. And that became very apparent when we turned the company around and we identified those values and we promoted those values as something that we would recruit to, we would retain to, and we would release to.
Right.
And there were people that said, hey, I didn't sign up for this, I'm going to go somewhere else, and we said we agree. But it has also been times where we've identified that behavior where they're not as engaged, as times where we can interface them and help them perhaps on family issues at home, and be understanding that there's a lot going on, as you put it. We're not all happy every day, right?
Yeah.
And we bring a lot of stuff to work a lot of times that people don't know about. So behavior that is not necessarily congruent with core values isn't necessarily a means for releasing someone into another position. It's really an opportunity to dialogue.
Right.
And that dialogue may be about, do you really line up with core values, or is there something else going on we can help with? And, you know, so we really try to work on both of those.
Yeah. Well, you know, the old saying, people don't care what you know until they don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Right.
Is so true.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then how about systems? And when actually, we'll save that one for another day.
Okay.
I think that, okay, good. Kirk, thanks for being here on this show.
Such a pleasure, Pete.
And we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.